Hi, I'm Alex and today we're going to pick out some tomato seedlings. A lot of people think pricking out seedlings is difficult and fiddly. Actually, it's really easy when you get the hang of it, and it's very calming and relaxing. Today we're going to do the tomato seedlings. As you can see, they're getting a bit crowded in the tray. There they are. But they've got their real leaves, which means that it's fine to prick them out now. The soil is damp, which is very important. If the soil is dry, when you're doing anything to plants like feeding or potting up or planting out, make sure you water them first and leave them for a good hour before you do anything to them. So first of all, make sure the soil is okay. I've put the compost into the pot and tamped it down so that it has a nice texture, a bit like a Victoria sponge cake. Don't overfill the pot, otherwise you'll find it difficult to water. I'm going to use this dibber, which I made myself from a pea stick. I just sharpen the end for making the hole and just use the scoopy end for digging the plants out of the soil. This cost you nothing and was taught to me by a fabulous chap called John Smith from Blackmore and Langdons when I briefly worked there. And then of course, all important, watering can, because you have to water them in straight away. So to start with, I'm going to make a nice big hole in the centre of my soil so as to not damage the roots too much when they go in. I'm going to choose a nice healthy plant near the edge of the tray so I don't have to disturb the others. I'm going to hold it by a seed leaf, not a main leaf. If you hold it by the stem, you may break the stem and kill the plant. We want to protect these leaves if we can, so I'm going to hold it by a seed leaf because if I break that off, it's not really important. So then we're going to use this end, dig carefully, separate the root ball from the others, and then put the dibber underneath the plant and lift it out like that. So there's less pressure on the stem and the leaves. Then I tuck my plant very carefully using this end and I push the roots into the hole, tease them in there nice and gently. Push it down so that it's going to be nice and strong, about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way into the pot. And then cover it over. And very gently push the soil down so it's got that nice spongy texture again. When we finish, we'll water them all in immediately. So here we are, a nice big hole in the compost, a nice strong seedling by the seed leaf. Separate it, lift it out and pop it in the soil. Tuck it in. There we are, nice and easy. So here are our seedlings, all watered in very thoroughly to make the soil settle around them and to make sure that they've got water coming up into the plant as soon as possible so they suffer less. You'll see I've put them in various different size pots because this is just what I happen to have. Although I'll say a few things now about these seedlings. They won't last very long in these small yogurt pots, homemade ones, but I shall probably just give some of these away because now I have quite a lot. So you can come down to the centre and take some of those if you like. Also, these seedlings are very late, these tomatoes, because a late frost took quite a lot of my seedlings, and also I had to wait until I was able to put up the polytunnel before I could plant them. So these are my third lot of tomato seedlings this year. These are the ones that weren't killed by the frost. You can see they're quite a lot bigger. And this one is one that was given to me. So this is really a nice size for a tomato at this time of year. I would like to keep all of my tomatoes in the polytunnel. There's our polytunnel, or in a greenhouse like this one over here. The reason for that is because if you protect them from the wind, they are much less likely to get blight. Also, the smaller ones will still be warm enough and protected enough to grow on and give you a crop later in the year after your other tomatoes have stopped. So here are all my tomato seedlings that we've just pricked out. Tomatoes are fairly easy to care for. You just need to feed them with some tomato feed, but not too much, otherwise they will get magnesium deficiency. So these ones need to be pricked out. These are my courgettes and squashes in here. These ones will be pricked out tomorrow. And these ones will be put out in the soil after they've hardened off for another few days. So here we've got cabbages, kale, chard and little gems. These little gems are also spare if you want to come down. Here is our community garden. We've got a new bed here which was built for us kindly by Dave Burgess. It's wheelchair height and it's great if you've got a bad back. This is waist height. And we've got another raised bed with some garlic here. So feel free to come along to St John's Family Centre opposite the cathedral and join the community garden anytime you like.